Yo ho ho, creepers and geekers, Chris the Atari Creep. And again, I'm still feeling under the weather from over the weekend. It's been 5 fucking days. I was kind of hoping it would have gone away by now, but it hasn't. But I'm home and I'm awaiting a few things for a new job because the part-time job went down to per diem. Long story short, I got time. We haven't seen this guy in a while, have we? And for that, I do apologize. So everything is pretty much where we left off last time. I was able to seat this in here just fine. So I have some gaps that need to be filled and some seams that need to be blended. But aside from that, the skull is pretty much ready to go. It's in the shape that I want it. I might reshape just a little bit back here, but that's neither here nor there for you right now. So let's put him aside. The jaw, I was able to get this piece in here, and as predicted, I had to cut it up and make it into a little puzzle. So I'm going to have to do the same thing with the plumber's epoxy, fill, blend, and sand. But when I'm done, you'll never even know that happened. Once there's paint on it, of course, so that's that. The eyeballs are exactly the same. I believe I ended the last video with let's get the electronics going. I'm going to worry about that later, because I may or may not be using other LEDs in the base itself, and I need to wire that into the circuit. So we'll figure all that out when that time comes. But first and foremost, let's worry about the base. Now, I know I'm not using this thing. I've said it a number of times. I can't stand this thing. So I want to cut this piece off and then figure out where it's going to attach in here aesthetically, go too far back, it looks silly. So I got to play around with that. But in order for me to do that, I need to actually attach the thing together. So I think what I'm going to work on first and foremost is I got to do a little more sanding and grinding in here, maybe slight reshaping, and just get these two pieces as one. And that way I'll have something solid to look at as a base, to fit everything together, sort of, just to give it a visual of where I'm going to go with where it's going to attach on here. Now, one of the ideas I do have is once this thing is ripped up off, is I might do like a little recess in here just to seat it and hold it in there with actual regular 5-minute epoxy, so it's a solid unit. But then I got this big ugly thing, so I might go out and get one of those PVC couplers that have like kind of a nut shape to it. Cut off that part of it and put it here so it looks like it's kind of like screwed or bolted in. I don't know. That way I can hide my crimes as far as what I do to seat the neck base into this thing. And there might be some LEDs coming up and facing the skull itself. So, all right, so they're attached finally, thank God. Like predicted, I need to fill in here. But let's get this flat. And, I cut this off just for fun. And I think if I flatten that out, maybe, there might be a small chance that might go there. Very teeny tiny. And look at this, after pulling it off the base, now it looks like some kind of a weapon. So, all right, let me get those things flat. So here's something that's not necessary to point out, but I'm going to do it fucking anyway. After getting the vertebrae together and then flattening this down using, just hot water, it looked off. And I'm looking at my glue line's right here where my thumb is, because this is all one piece right here. But it looks crooked. It's because it was sculpted that way. If you really look here, this jets out more than this one. Oh, that's going to drive me nuts. Hopefully, the jaw will cover that up. Again, don't know why that was necessary to point out, but oh, there you go. You can really fucking see it there. But I did anyway, so there. All right, guys, so real quick, I talk a lot about plumber's epoxy putty. I don't really ever show it to you. And in the event that, you've never used it before, I figured I'd throw this up here now. First and foremost, this stuff can be real nasty. So you're always going to want to wear gloves. You might want to have a small respirator or an open window, because some of them, once you mix it together, starts emitting a real horrible chemical smell, like regular epoxy, but stronger. I worked with this once without gloves on, and I can imagine it's good to get on your skin, but I had a headache for 3 days afterwards, so Use every safety precaution you can. This is just what I had on hand. It comes in many different forms. You can either buy it as just one tube or two separate pieces, A and B, that you mix together. But the idea is the same. It's a putty or almost like a clay. There's two different shades of it. In this case, we have a gray and kind of like a gray-green. Let me turn on the light so maybe you can see that a little better. See how there's two different colors there? And what you do is you just cut off what you need. You knead it together until it becomes one uniform color, and then you can work it like clay. As far as how long this particular brand has, I don't know. I'm going to guess about 5 to 10 minutes of work time before it completely flashes on me. But read your instructions. Make sure you have proper safety stuff because, again, this stuff can be nasty. It's chemical. And trust me, this particular brand or this style, which is made for plumbing stuff, yeah, you could definitely smell it. You can tell it's there. So I'm not going to show you me actually working with it. It's basically using putty or clay to fill in gaps and seams. So that should be self-explanatory. This stuff, just take a real good look at that Harvey's, huh? Harvey's an asshole. This shit sucks. Avoid that at all costs. And the only reason I'm really mentioning that is because if you've never used this type of stuff before, that will discourage you from ever trying plumber's epoxy again. And I promise you, if you're making models or building anything that needs some seams and stuff done, you don't want to mess with Bondo and all that crap, it's really great to have on hand, and I don't want to discourage you from using it. First and foremost, to assemble the head to what's going to be the neck base thingy-mabobby, most people set it down into here. And I guess the idea is if you want it to swivel, it will. If not, you can just glue it, whatever. I'm not actually going to set it all the way in. Not because I want to do the work as far as scoring this just right so that that little hole there will boom, pop right on there. But because I like that it gives it an extra inch or so of height. And it gives me a little bit more play as far as in what position I want to glue it in. So first thing I need to do is figure out exactly how I'm going to attach the neck to the base. Once I do that, I'll do a dry run without actually securing it in there. Then we're going to start thinking about paint. So what I'll do is I'll, kick the camera stand. And then I will, do all the normal stuff. You got to prime it, make sure everything looks good, smooth it out, and then you go from paint down. We'll discuss paint in more detail in the next video. And then the plan of attack as far as putting it all together. So I'm probably going to, like I said, I'm gonna make sure this will fit on the base just right. Paint everything. Secure this to the base properly. Get the skull completely assembled and then zap it all together. Putting the head onto the neck will be the very last thing. Of course, the electronics and all that have to come into play as well. Plus, not that I've been avoiding it, but I got these little pieces here. Some of them go into the eyeballs. They'll hold the ball bearings. They'll go around the actual eyeball sockets and stuff. And there's little holes in here that they're going to attach to. And there's also some mechanisms that go between the jaw and like here, the cheekbone and stuff like that. That, I guess hinges, bimbers, whatever you want to call them. So I do eventually have to start playing with that. It's not that I've been avoiding it. It's just, I don't know. This is tedious stuff, and it's tiny, and there's a lot of cleaning stuff. And I got big, fat sausage fingers, so they don't like to work with little things like this. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you got something out of it. I know there wasn't a lot in it, aside from me talking about plumber's epoxy. I just wanted to get something up to show you that it's still there. I'm still working on it, and I've actually gotten more response in the past 2 weeks on my older videos on this than I have since I uploaded them. And people have been asking me, hey, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? Well, I'm doing it now. So I'm hoping to have this done by the end of April. It is going to take that long because of other things going on. But, yeah. So, again, I hope you got something out of this, and I hope you look forward to the next episode. Thanks, as always, for watching. Leave feedback, thumbs up, thumbs down. No feedback is negative. It is all positive to me. And until next time, guys, take care, and bye-bye. Hey, what's up, folks? The Creep here. Thank you, as always, so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more. You can follow The Creep on social media, and feel free to reach out at any time here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Creep would love to hear from you. And as always, thank you, take care, and bye-bye.